Fee waiver request. Hi, I'm Darren Findling of the Probate Pro Law Firm. We're going to be covering SCAO Form MC20. This is a request of the court to allow you to not have to pay the filing fee or filing fees associated with the matter that you're involved in. This is governed by a particular court rule, that being MCR Michigan Court Rule 2.002. I strongly urge you, as you're working your way through that document, to review the court rule very closely, as well as to be consulting with a skilled, competent probate lawyer, whether it be a retained lawyer or a pro bono lawyer, to help you get through this document. It's really frustrating if you fill it out and you file it and it gets rejected for some technical reason. So knowing how to navigate through the form will allow you to navigate through the process in a much more efficient manner. This particular form is a request when you're trying to waive the requirement for filing fees, whether it's a cause of action like a summons and complaint, or a proceeding that is occurring through, for example, the probate court. And if you look at the top right corner, there's a space for you to identify the case number as well as the judge. Top left corner, the county in which the matter is pending. The top section allows you to identify the plaintiff and defendant if it's a cause of action, a petitioner, a respondent, depending on the circumstances, or as you can see in the matter of, that is an identification if there's a probate proceeding. So again, not every space there needs to be completed, but rather the appropriate space based on the particular circumstances. Remember, this form is used in both lawsuits as well as probate proceedings. So depending on the circumstances will dictate which particular blank you're going to fill out. You'll also notice that there's an instruction note there that talks about if you're a prisoner and the requirements to show proof of your particular account when completing this particular form. Section 1 just identifies the person making the request, and you're requesting the waiver because of your indigent circumstances. And in paragraph 1, you'll see there's a variety of check boxes. There is a spot for FAP or SNAP, which is the food assistance program through the state of Michigan, Medicaid, Michigan CHIP ESO, also the family independence programming through the state of Michigan, as well as WIC, which is the Women's, Infant, and Children Benefits, Supplemental Social Security, or SSI. These are qualifications that identify that you are indigent and unable to afford the basis for the filing fees that occur within a cause of action. There are other means tested public assistance that you can identify in that space. And means tested means that the qualification for that benefit is tested based on your income or assets. That's what the concept of means tested means. It also identifies if there's a public assistance case number, you'd fill that spot in. Section 2 identifies whether you're part, whether you are being represented through a legal service program or one of the law school clinics. Law schools have these pro bono, meaning free or reduced fee clinics that allow for indigent people to have representation. And that's where you'd identify it in subsection 2. In subsection 3, it identifies your particular circumstances relating to your household income, and it has you fill out how much money you're making based on a weekly or biweekly or month or year, and identifies your source of income. So essentially, you are stating to the court under the penalties of perjury that you are indigent, unable to afford the filing fees. And then there's a spot that you're declaring under the penalties of perjury and a spot for you to sign. On page 2 of the document, it has a spot for the clerk of the court. This is not a section that you're filling out, but rather the clerk is identifying that they're approving the waiver request. And then there's a court order section below it that identifies that there's been a finding that there's a waiver because the gross household income is under 125% of the federal poverty guideline, which is kind of the definition of indigency, or if it is above, but the payment of the fees would constitute a financial hardship. So really an opportunity for either you to be identified as indigent, or if you're over 125%, but you have other uh, reasonings for the request, that you'd identify it in subsection 1B the court would make a finding under subsection 1B, as well as a section for the court to identify additional information in the other space. And then it identifies that if you are able during the pendency of the matter to be able to pay the fees, maybe your financial situation has changed, then you must notify the court. Subsection 2 has the denial section. So it's either going to be approved at the top or denied at the bottom. And again, a finding of the court and a spot for the judge to sign. And then there's a section at the bottom that's a notice that says if your request was denied, uh, to continue your case and preserve your filing date, you now have 14 days from the issuance of the date below to request to either pay the filing fees or request a review. And you can have a completion of another form called a request of review of denied fee waiver. It's a form MC114 and file it with the court. So essentially, you're asking the court for a review of this finding that's done without a court hearing. At the Probate Pro, we are passionate about everything probate. If you've got questions about this particular form or any probate or trust related issue, visit us at theprobatepro.com or call us at 833 probate.